One thing I hate is an open door immigration policy. I think I just coined that tonight on Mike in the Night. An open door immigration policy. What is an open door immigration policy? Well, you had the Europeans come over. The Italians, the Greeks, the Portuguese, some of the Germans, some Dutch. They came over. They built this country. They built America. It's like 41 million Irish worked hard to build America. Catholic Irish came and build America. And Canada was predominantly Italian, Portuguese, and Greek. And they built these roads. They built these sewering, the electricity, the infrastructure, the bridges, the stadiums, the libraries. They built everything. And now their kids, like my dad worked on all this stuff, their kids are not allowed to work in those buildings that they built. These office buildings, government buildings, banks. We can't work in these buildings. These buildings are built for the open door policy immigration that's coming in. So people would come in from overseas, somewhere else. They'd come to Canada or America. Here's your job. Here's your 6-figure income job. Here's the road for you to drive up that you had no part in building or ancestors. Here's the road. Here's the water to drink at your house. Here's a nice roof over your head. Here's everything you need. You never participated in any of this. Neither has your family. And you're not going to learn the language of the country. And you're going to come here to piss everybody off. That's like an open door immigration policy. Bringing in cultures that nobody asked the people that built the country, hey, should we bring these people in? Let us vote. Let the people vote on who we bring in that actually build it. Government should not have no choice in saying, we're going to bring in 300,000 more people from Pakistan and 200,000 from Ethiopia. For what? For what? But that's the problem. You see, I'm an immigrant from Portugal. And there's a difference. There's migrants that come in from other parts of the world. Right? So that's what's happening here. So, okay, take a deep breath while I do this America one. Okay, here it goes. Ready? I'm going to try my best not to lose my cool. Great replacement. Job shock. 1.3 million native-born Americans just lost their jobs, replaced by 653,000 immigrants. I don't think it's immigrants, guys. I honestly don't think it's immigrants. I don't see more people from Ireland coming here or Germany or... This is not immigration. This is migrants that are coming in. All right? At the start of the year, many months after we first pointed out the biggest untold story of the U.S. labor market was the great replacement of native-born workers with foreign-born workers, most of whom subsequently learned were illegal aliens. Now, again, these are not immigrants. These are migrants, right? We asked how is it the ongoing replacement, because that's what it is, of U.S. workers is not the biggest political talking point right now. So we were talking about the southern open borders, where you got mass amounts of people from Haiti, China, going through the southern Mexican border into the United States and bringing in fentanyl and all kinds of drugs and all kinds of garbage and disease, everything, bringing it in, looking, and okay, let's go back to this. And 1.4 million jobs were lost over the same period. Foreign-born workers have gained 3 million jobs. So this graph here breaks down. There's foreign-born workers versus native-born workers. And we talked about this. Okay, we made an independent video. We made an independent video about this back in 2017. It was a small 8-minute video I made where I was talking to someone who's a district manager of a fast food place. I was talking to him one-on-one, and he told me, Mike, anybody that's Caucasian or of European descent, we have to destroy their resumes and pretend we never got it. Why would you do that for? They just don't hire people they'll hire them to build the restaurant and build the building and put the running water inside and the electricity, but they won't hire them to work there. Why? Because they form unions and they demand rights and stuff like that. And if we get people in from Pakistan, then they don't form units and we threaten to send them back home. Are you serious? He's like, yeah. We're just not allowed to hire Canadian or European expansion or European people to work in our fast food, our place of business. So this is what's happening, right? So look at that. Look at these numbers. You can't make this stuff up. And Iraq war architect endorses Kamala Harris. Former Vice President Dick Cheney has labeled Donald Trump the biggest threat to America in its history. Now, Dick Cheney, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, isn't that Mr. Halliburton, the guy that created shell companies in Iraq and charging Americans or American taxpayers $11 million for a liter of oil, $10 million for an oil filter, $1 million for a gallon of coffee? Correct me if I'm wrong. Was that Mr. Halliburton, Dick Cheney, there in the Iraq War, Iraq War II, Iraq War I or Iraq War II? Let me know. One of the neocons, right? And we got this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. California schools set to begin mandatory climate change curriculum. This is worse than teaching kids evolution. You can't make this stuff up. 1 billion years ago, somebody farted. You can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make Yeah, but climate changes. It's going to rain tomorrow. It changes. They're using words as weapons. Yeah, look, climate change. Look, it's going to snow. The global warming one was better because then you could make up these... the water is going to disappear. It's going to dissipate. It's going to be volcanoes everywhere. It's global warming. Yeah. Remember the acid rain in the 60s? Acid rain's going to melt us all. And then in the 80s, the ozone layer has a hole in it. Remember we did this whole monologue? And then InfoWars took our entire monologue step by step and word for word. And I did a side-by-side video for you guys showing you, like, why are these people stealing our material for? Just have me on your show if you want me to talk. So there it is right there. Schools set to begin mandatory climate change curriculum. Yeah. And police warn of Venezuelan gang crime in Wisconsin. Isn't Wisconsin the cheese capital of America or the dairy capital of America? And Wisconsin police reported that a suspected Venezuelan gang member was arrested and charged with the sexual and physical assault of a woman. 26-year-old was doing that. And U.S. cities are becoming more and more dangerous as more and more migrants come in with the Biden selection. We told you, Biden selection. What's the point of the Biden selection? It's simple. But U.S. needs to catch up to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the U.K. Why? Unaffordability. Multiple layers of government, bullshit wars, bullshit this, bullshit. America needs to catch up to Canada because what's happening in America was already happening in all this stuff in America is already happening since 2010 in Canada. It's gotten progressively worse here in Canada. It's got severely progressively worse here in Canada. And discount retailer Big Lots prepares to file for bankruptcy amid inflation and declining sales. So you'll start to see more and more stores start to shutter their doors because it's just too expensive to stay in business, and they're probably going to have to go through some sort of liquidation or something, and it's going to get worse. And more private sector jobs get eliminated. That means less taxpayers on the hook, which means they have to create more government jobs and create more money out of thin air. Oh, yeah. It's Mike in the Night. Thanks for joining us live and here on Mike in the Night, broadcasting on Rumble.